Okay, hi all. Thought I'd give an update and just show you exactly the state of the play at the moment, which is complete chaos as I start working on the upper deck. So the lower deck, like this area, is now a workbench with junk everywhere, moving around. The top deck also is basically workbench, junk everywhere, bridge bits and pieces, fitting track, baseboard, etc, etc. Here's the canal I'm working on. This is really my very first attempt at anything to do with water on a layout. I'll come back on that in a minute. Below. Alright, what have I been doing? Well, it's basically been boring stuff. The, infrastructure stuff. So, I've been working on making the panels and putting together the backdrop. Still got a whole lot to do. But of course you've got to put a backdrop in first. Because you can't get to it after you put in structures and scenery and all the rest of it. So I'm to there at the moment. In the garage drying on with paint is a section that'll go along here behind the canal up to about the pillar here. I've been doing on the underneath of the upper deck, putting in the bus wires, which in my enthusiasm to do the canal scene I forgot, so I'm putting them in at the moment. There at the back. It's a 12 volt DC bus for LED lights. There's a 20 volt AC to operate solenoids. There's a decoder bus to operate decoders for operating signals and points. There's the track power bus and the overhead wire power bus. So all those buses need to still go in yet. And I'll be working on a section there at the rear. If you look closely there in the corner, you'll see a PVC pipe. You can zoom in there. See the top of a PVC pipe, which I'm using to guide the wires down behind the backdrop there and to underneath. I'm not going to show you too much of my wiring. My wiring is functional and that's it. I'm not one for clean wiring. Actually, I like the open wiring plan because if you make changes you can fairly quickly find your wires and pull them and change them and all the rest of it. So I'm not one for a very tight wiring plan, but that's just first of all it's my laziness, and second of all it's because I keep changing things. Alright, I've been doing wiring, and as you notice here there's a fluorescent bulb. I'm starting to put in the light underneath the upper deck for the lower deck, and I've been working on a number of projects on the upper deck here. At the rear there is an incline which will head over onto a bridge section. Let me I've got see if it'll work. This will go with one hand. Well, maybe not. Let me put the camera down a minute so you can see what I'm doing. Let's have a look. Yeah, something like that. So I've got a bridge section here all ready to go, wired up, glued down, all the rest of it. That's the section that'll go over the canal, but as I'm painting in the water and all the rest of it, the canal, this will remain So I'll probably edit a little bit, but this will be the canal scene. There's just a first layer of color and a first layer of varnish. I'm not going to use anything like realistic water or anything like that. I'm going to go with varnish. I've seen people have too much trouble with realistic water, so I made a barge that basically will represent the traffic on the Amsterdam-Rhine Canal. So there's a barge in place there which represents the traffic on the canal. The bridge at the rear, there'll be another bridge for the branch line at the front here. If you look closely, you can experimenting with some waves at the front. This will come a little bit closer like that. So I've got some tissue paper under the paint and varnish just to raise it up a little bit to give the impression of some bow waves and some wash here at the side, etc. This is a busy canal, so the water won't be stilled. It'll be wavy and jumping around with the boats or the ships as they pass. But again, this is just the first layer. I need to probably put another couple of layers of color and varnish. Try and create a little bit of depth. Again, just the very beginnings of this. So yeah, it's chaos. Layout is currently more workbench than it is layout. I can't run any trains, and I won't be running any trains for a while, I probably. So what I want to do eventually up here is create a short reversing loop so that I can just run some trains for a little while, because the upper deck here needs to be filled in, and then also the upper deck needs to go finish up across here for Venlo Yard, and then that modular section be in front of the door representing the track into the rest of Europe, into Germany, etc. So that's where we are. Lots of little projects also on the side. Some scratch builds and trying to get some catenary that looks like Dutch Railways catenary. I'm putting that in. I've got a whole bunch of Markland flex rail, which I'll be using here on this upper section to create some nice slow curves, as it were, for the mainline run, as I explained in a previous video. So, all right, that's it at the moment. Very much a work in progress. Bye.